Hey everybody, welcome back. Tonight I'm going to be talking about 5 anime that I am ashamed that I have not watched yet. Now, I guess I should say really completed yet, because there's some rules that I set to this. Um, so there's no sequels on here, so there's nothing that's like I watched season 1 and I'm waiting on season 2, because obviously I wouldn't have seen those yet. Any of these, I cannot have seen more than I capped it at 2 episodes. And I was gonna say don't see them at all, but there's one on the list in particular that I have seen 2 episodes of a long time ago, and I really wanted to include it in the list because it's pretty iconic. Um, and so yeah, there's no sequels from what I can imagine, and I haven't really seen any of most of these, really, with the exception of one. I'm not counting random clips from YouTube or something like that. And some of these I know almost nothing about. Uh, and there's these aren't this is sort of like a top 5 list, I guess, but not really, because I'm just kind of gonna. There's no particular order that I think I would like. On any given day, I would probably want to watch some of these over the other. So you can ask me today, I'll probably want to watch one way more than this one, and next week it'll be completely different. So these just are 5 anime that I'm really ashamed that I haven't seen, but I hope that some of you guys have. Um, and yeah, the first one I'll talk about is Nausicaa of the Valley of the Wind. And this is a double whammy for me, because not only is this one sitting on my Blu-ray DVD shelf, the original manga by Hayao Miyazaki himself is also on my shelf, on my manga shelf, and I have the box set version that I got from Anime Boston 2 or 3 years ago now, and haven't even really opened it. Stuff has just kind of gotten in the way. I just keep pushing it back, and I want to read the manga first and then watch the movie, because I feel like that's not the experience that a lot of people had, especially in the States, I would imagine. I want to have that experience because I heard the manga has incredible detail and amazing art to it. I've heard that about the movie as well, but I've heard that the manga does a lot better world building, and it's just it's seemingly a very, very interesting story in the manga that they dip their toes into in the movie. And not to say that I've heard that the movie's bad. I've heard that it's really, really good. Definitely want to check it out. So Nausicaa, fortunately, have not watched it or read it, but I am going to read it and then watch it and hopefully talk about it on this channel someday. Speaking of talking about on this channel, this one's going to be coming soon. TM. Baka Monogatari. I haven't seen any Monogatari at all, and if I understand it correctly, this is the first one to air. I think this is back in 2009. Uh, my good friend Dread is a fellow anime YouTuber. Really, really likes this series. I know a lot of people really hold this series near and dear to their hearts. I know next to nothing about really any of the Monogataris, besides there's one scene in, I think, in Nisa Monogatari with the toothbrush. And we all know how that goes, if you know what I'm talking about. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, consider yourself lucky. So, Baka Monogatari, I don't know why this girl's got scissors and pens and markers and stuff, staplers, falling out of her skirt. I know her name is is it Senjoku Hara or something? And she's some big famous waifu, and there's lots of figures for her at Anime Boston when I go and stuff. And I know people like her a lot, and people like the show a lot. I'm assuming there's more to the show than just her. I guess I know that there's vampires somehow, but I don't know. All the art I've seen of this, it doesn't look super vampire-y, but I believe this is an Akiyuki Shinbo directed series, so that's going to be interesting in itself. I love March Comes in Like a Lion. Uh, and I'm interested, and this has been something on my list of suggestions from my patrons as well. So I am going to be checking this out soon. I've got a couple projects that I'm working on ahead of time, but I am going to check out Bakemonogatari, and you will see a video about this in the future. But as of right now, June 2020, I'm ashamed that I haven't seen it yet, because I know it means a whole lot to a lot of people, and it's a pretty appealing mystery to me that I know like kind of next to nothing really going in. Uh, One thing that I can't really avoid as an anime fan, but have somehow dodged this landmine for a long time. Berserk! Alright, and I just lost all of my fandom. And I lost all respect, I should say. Nobody thinks that I'm a real anime fan now, because I haven't watched Berserk. This is the one where I said that there was a weird exception, because I've seen 2 episodes of Berserk. Both those episodes were pretty good. The first episode of Berserk is very very exciting. Then the second episode, I don't remember like a lot from it. I remember it wasn't like boring, but it just I don't know. I kind of want to watch what I say here, because I know this means a lot to people. Whenever I had started watching it, I was definitely watching something at the same time that I was way more captivated by, and then that tied me into another show that happens a lot with me, and that sort of happened with this. And I haven't read any of the manga for Berserk either, but the 97 series I've seen 2 episodes of. Both of them were good. I'm not shitting all over the show at all or anything. It seems really good. It seems like very, very good action, and I'd love to see the adventures of the Band of the Hawk and Guts and Griffith, and I want to know if Griffith really does anything wrong. I don't know. But I sort of have like an inkling as to like what sort of happens like by the end. I've had that somewhat sort of spoiled for me. I'm not going to spoil it here, but I don't know like all the details to it, so I still have like an interest, and I'm not really a person that cares a lot about spoilers anyway. I've talked about this on my channel before. But yeah, Berserk 97, haven't seen it. I'm sorry. I guess I'm not a real anime fan now. I've seen over 200 shows, but Berserk is not one of them. This next one is Showa Genroku Rakugo Shinju. Try saying that 10 times fast. This is from 2016, I believe. And in 2016, that was back when I was watching a ton of anime YouTubers and a bunch of anime reviews, videos, and discussions and stuff like that. And Rakugo was like the sleeper hit. It was like the cult classic of like the season that it was in, and it wasn't like the big blockbuster like the big pushed anime, but it was one that those who watched it had great respect for it and only praised it. Like I only ever heard like positive things about this show. And it's about this weird, I'm sorry, I'm going to say weird, but I guess it's weird probably to a lot of people here in America, about this thing called Rakugo, where as far as I understand it, it's like verbal storytelling, which if that's the case, that interests me greatly, because one thing that's not on this list, spoiler alert to the people that thought it was on it, got you 9 minutes in, I've seen some of One Piece, and then I watched a video by Best Guy Ever where he talks about One Piece for 4 hours and talks about most of the events that happen in One Piece. So I know almost everything that happens in One Piece just by watching that video and hearing discussion about it. And I enjoyed that greatly, and that was a piece of content that I fell in love with. And through that, I'm slowly discovering, I'm checking out more podcasts and stuff recently too. So it's sort of like a recent discovery within myself that I'm very into verbal storytelling. And while I'm assuming, it's an anime, it's a visual medium, I'm going to guess that it's like the person describing events, and they have some of it animated or part of it animated or something like that. But that is very interesting to me. Similar to a show that I really love, March Comes In Like a Lion, where it has shogi, it has this thing that is completely foreign to me. Doesn't really have the storytelling aspect to it. It's like chess, um, and I guess it's sort of the appeal of something like Chihaya Furu, which is also another show that I have not checked out, where it's this sort of like foreign hobby or game or foreign experience that we don't really get here in America, and it weaves this apparently incredible dramatic tale of, I think, like multiple people's like lives and like this generational story. I might be wrong about this, but that's what I remember people saying about Rakugo. I think it has like 2 seasons, and it was something that I'd said, when it's done, I'll just get into it, and it hasn't happened yet. But I really, really look forward to the day where I'm going to like sit through and watch Showa Genroku Rakugo Shinju. Yeah, this last one, and again, not really particular order. I kind of wanted like a wild card here. I mean, I could have I have some like honorable mention type things. I got like Toradora and Karekano. Toradora is another thing that I've had on my shelf forever. I don't watch. I think like enough like I have not watched enough like rom coms. I think in my life, like I really liked Rec. Toradora is always one that's praised. Karekano, is also a romantic comedy directed by Hideaki Anno, of Eva fame. So that interests me there alone. Like the guy that did Ava did a romantic comedy, and then even like magical girl stuff, Sailor Moon or Cardcaptor Sakura. I've honestly never really gotten to check those out, even though they're pretty iconic in the anime medium, I would say. The other one is like I guess in like the same vein. Revolutionary Girl Utena. I have not seen that, and that has an incredible visual style to it. And it's a show I know means a lot to people. But the last one that I want to mention here is something that I expect would maybe have a personal connection to me, and that's Run with the Wind. This aired, I think, 2018, and this is still like up there on Mal. I was going through like the Mal chart of like stuff that I had not really seen before. This is still like up in like the 80s. And it's been a little bit since it aired. So I think that like the cult following that this might have had behind it really sort of pushed it. Maybe it is a good show. It's about like a track club from what I understand. And I did track and field, mostly the field part, for about a decade of my life. It was a very big part of my life for a long time, and I've never really seen an anime really about track and field. I heard like Suzuka is also something similar, but this seems like this guy is like a really good runner. Goes to live. I think they're in university. It's like a university running club, and they're trying to get into like some big race or something like that. And it has like a myriad of different interesting characters and stuff like that you would have on a team. So I feel like this would be combined like I like sports, and I like the camaraderie of sports with like probably the silliness and the storytelling that you can get in an anime. So Run with the Wind was something that I wanted to include in here because I think it would be an interesting experience. But I don't know, I haven't seen it. So yeah, there's some anime that sadly I have not seen. If you've seen any of these, let me know down below what you thought about them. And I apologize if I offended you for thinking that I have the right to talk about anime on the internet and have not seen X show. I'm sorry. But yeah, let me know what you think about this down below. Thank you so much to all my patrons. I'll have a link down below in the description box if you want to become a patron yourself. If you like what I'm doing here, please consider hitting that subscribe button and the bell notification so you know when I upload. That's going to be it for me. My name is Miasma. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.